Towards the end of Trump's first term, after proving he really wanted absolutely nothing to do with foreign wars, a strange shift among the, let's say, hardcore, dyed-in-the-wool, true libertarians. Anyways, this shift in the traditional political positioning in the United States started to take place. Now, this shift is only accelerated since Beijing Biden stumbled his way into power on strings, mainly due to the current administration's complete incompetence in covering up their true authoritarian ways with situations like the heavy-handed bat stew and jab edicts, and of course, our needless foreign involvement in places like Ukraine. Here's an excellent example of one of the latest, let's just say, world-famous converts. The current left, unable to actually engage with the substance of Russell Brand's arguments, has lamented the loss of the once darling of the elite leftist class in their characterization of his current politic, showering him in their latest tired damnation. You see, he's far right. Here's a little sample of the smug, disdainful criticism from the other side of the pond.
And that connection to the land and farmers.
Yeah. So Russell used to be a hero of mine, right? In 2014, The Guardian said, "Will you nominate your hero of the year?" And I nominated Russell Brand. And he was amazing. He was doing incredible stuff. I mean, he's a brilliant guy. You know, he's super smart. He's very fast. He's funny. He's got a great way of reaching people, of talking to people. And his talents were then put to good use. You know, he was mobilizing people. He was sort of helping to sort of build a revolutionary left, which was actually attending to real issues. Since then, blimey, I mean, he's just completely jumped the shark, and he's gone on to what is highly lucrative, gets him massive viewing. He's got 6 million subscribers on YouTube. He gets a great deal of attention. He can monetize that attention. I've seen his company accounts. I mean, he's making millions every year. This is a highly lucrative business. So when he tells you you're being exploited by multimillionaires, he's not wrong, right? And in this particular case, he's been promoting this idea which has become very popular among the far right. He's just sort of hitting every one of those click triggers. You know, they're all terms which guarantee a particular audience. You know, this stuff is very popular. It races around far right circles all over the world. And while he's not specifically pushing a far right narrative, he's pushing a narrative that plays with the far right, if you see the distinction. So he chooses topics which are of interest to the far right. I mean, if you look at his videos, there's almost no topic anywhere in his videos which aren't of intense interest to the far right. And yet there's huge issues he never touches, but those issues are the ones that the far right's not interested in. So he'll latch onto stuff which is completely petty and ridiculous, but has got massive far right traction. You know, he's not on the far right, but he's cynically playing to that audience because that is where the attention is and that is where the money is. That is how to get eyeballs.
Here's an excerpt from an article in The New Statesman. Yet another gathering of contemptuous ass clowns that only a mother could love. Quote, Brand's lionization of Bernie Sanders is evidence enough that the old version of Brand, the one who ran rings around Jeremy Paxman in 2013, telling the astonished presenter that a socialist revolution was on the horizon, is still there. But he has married these long-held beliefs with all the suspicions and anxieties of the new American right. America first, drain the swamp, distrust the mainstream media. Why, just last week he was pictured grinning with Donald Trump Jr., cutting a rather different figure to the man who used to lead anti-austerity marches in Parliament Square. What happened to the freewheeling entertainer praised by Mark Fisher for espousing a communism that was cool, sexy, and proletarian? The article continues, it seems that Russell Brand has been America-brained. Brand's transition, transition, them's fighting words. Brand's transition towards the conspiratorial right seems perfectly seamless, unquote. Note the sneering, pejorative smear of Brand's America-brained. These people hate regular Americans. The bitter clingers, as Barack Obama once termed them. Yep, they hate us with an undying passion. It really is supremely ironic, as most of the British media figures, like the author of this BS article, Finn McRedman, have never actually met an American, outside of the coastal elites, of course, who are more European in their cultural disposition than American, at any rate. And isn't it funny how the same process works itself out with every corporate media semantic engineering project? Conspiracy theorist, transphobic, white supremacist, etc. The new phrase pops into the lexicon by way of endless parroting on the part of talking heads on cable news and Huffington Post columnists. The targets of these news smears then proliferate. Eventually, the term becomes so widely applied that it loses all of its meaning, and therefore, its effectiveness to marginalize dissident voices. It is then effectively pastured in favor of a new smear, and the process plays itself out all over again. How much further can the term white supremacist really be taking, for instance, when it's applied to freaking Kanye West, people? It loses all meaning instantly at that point. I mean, it has to, right? Here's the rub, as the British would say. If Russell Brand can be slapped with the far-right label, or Kanye West with white supremacist, so can literally anyone. I respect Russell Brand immensely, as well with Kanye West. If he or they are far-right, I don't mind the label. Likewise, if Tucker Carlson, whom I also respect, is far-right, that's all right by me. If Glenn Greenwald and Matt Taibbi can be categorized as far-right, I will ironically embrace that smear as a compliment. You see, what's really going on here is that, as I mentioned earlier, dyed-in-the-wool libertarians see their party or their political allies embracing straight-up communism in so many ways and are effectively hitting the damn door. Now, I won't bore you by listing all the ways they're doing this, but naturally these clowns being left behind are going to get angry and probably jealous. But again, as more and more Jimmy Dores and Russell Brands slowly take the red pill, more will come along. You see, it's not in liberals' nature to think for themselves at all, but paranoia is definitely in their nature. And after the frustration wears off, they will be coming. After all, more Democrats watch Tucker Carlson than Republicans, or so they say. Most of this came by way of PJ Media. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.